Today we are going to cover the topics on SQL overview, what are the major products available in the market, RDBMS products are available in the market, and what are the data types in SQL. We have a separate PostgreSQL standard data types which we are going to use in our daily routine life. So main agenda of this course is on PostgreSQL. So that is the reason we are focusing mainly on the data types of standard. So once you are comfortable to work on these PostgreSQL, then almost like 90% of database concepts are same, and you will be familiar and you can work on other RDBMS products like Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, DB2, etc. And finally, we are going to cover SQL constraints. SQL overview. So what is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It is a standard programming database language used to manage and manipulate the relational databases. So essentially it is going to query, insert, update, delete and manage the data in databases. Also SQL will interact with the database applications, websites and various other software systems. So we have you are going to see this is assume like it is a PG admin. PG admin is a GUI tool, graphical user interface tool. Also some other databases will be having a CLI, command line interface. So whenever we want to write any SQL commands, so we are going to use majority of our cases we will be using GUI tools to write our programs, procedures, functions and SQL commands, other SQL database commands. So we are going to, as part of this course, we will be using PG admin. This is a GUI tool which supports for PostgreSQL database, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, PostgreSQL, MySQL, Sybase, DB2. So all these are RDBMS databases. So each database architecture will be a different. Similarly, like a PostgreSQL will be having a different complex architecture internally. What exactly when we run the SQL command like select star from EMP table, when we pass the command, SQL command will be sending the request, and in database server like PostgreSQL, it internally will perform the operations, complex operations to run that select star from EMP, and it will send back the result in the form of a response and provide a result in the form of a table back to our GUI tool. This is how at high level the SQL commands input and output response of the database server will perform. Coming to the RDBMS products in the market, we have Oracle, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, MySQL. So these are the major products available in the market. For each RDBMS product, we can use the GUI tools. So GUI is a graphical user interface tools. So easily for the developers, it is easy to write the SQL commands, and properly we can format the code, and we can write a long stored procedures, stored functions, or any other operations which we want to perform in this GUI tool. So for Oracle, we have a Toad SQL Developer, PL SQL Developer. These are the three GUI SQL tool supports. We can leverage this. So for PostgreSQL, as part of this course, we are going to use the PG admin as our GUI tool, SQL GUI. For SQL Server, whoever is or using a SQL Server, they can use SSMS. It is SQL Server Management Studio. Similarly, for MySQL, there is a MySQL Workbench. So these are the products majorly available in the market. This is how we will be writing our SQL commands in respective GUI tools. There is a documentation link for this data types. If you want to see PostgreSQL documentation data types, you can walk through this documentation link. Next, SQL constraint. What is a SQL constraint? These are the database constraints which are used to define rules that restricts the type of data that can be inserted into a table. Constraints are defined to ensure data integrity and accuracy. Similarly, the same approach which we discussed before for the data types. Data types actually used to restrict the data to be loaded. If it is a int data type, then we cannot insert the text data into that column. Similarly, SQL database constraints, we have a different types of constraints. So within internal integer, if you want to further do a data integrity restriction, then we will use the constraints. We have 6 types of database constraints: not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, check, default. So first, what is a not null constraint? Not null constraint, it ensures that that particular column which we defined, that will not allow the null values to insert into that column. It is always used when a column must always have a value. So it will not allow the null values. The syntax for this not null constraint is create table name, column, and it is a data type. It might be int or character, varchar, any. We are going to apply a constraint, not null. This is a syntax. When it comes to unique constraint, it ensures all the values in a column are different. It prevents duplicate values from being entered into the column. So the syntax for this unique constraint is create table name, column, data type, and unique. So third constraint is a primary key constraint. It is a combination of null, not null, and unique key constraints. So what exactly it is a primary key, which the combination of not null and null. What is the difference between these three? Not null will accept the duplicate values. Unique will accept null values. Primary key will not accept duplicate as well as null values. That is where the primary key is a unique and it will not accept the null values into the table column. The syntax is create table name, column, data type, primary key. And foreign key. Foreign key constraint is especially used to link between the two tables. It is a kind of a relation which to be established between the parent table column and the child table column. Syntax for foreign keys: create table name, column, data type, and this is a quite a different syntax. Foreign key and the column name references to the parent table. This is a parent table name and parent table column name. To which parent table column name we are going to link with this foreign key constraint. All these actually we will see in depth as a practically in later sessions. So that will be more informative. Sorry. Check constraint. Check constraint ensures that all the values in a column satisfy a specific condition. For example, we have a create table name, column data type check, and we are going to mention the condition. For example, if we have a column age and the age always should accept greater than 18, in that case we can provide greater than 18 as a age condition, so that below if you try to enter the values of age less than 18, then it will throw the constraint error. We will see that in a practically. Default constraint. Default constraint is used to provide default value for column. For example, whenever we don't want to provide any values to that column while inserting a data, in that case we can provide a default value, and that default value will be inserted into that column. So these are all about the constraints, and we will move into the practical session.